Om Asmadgurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatuno Jagatraya Guruhu Krishnam Namasyamyaham Krishnena Marasetravo Vinihataha Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha Krishna Deva Samuthitam Jagadidam Krishnasya Dasosmiham Krishne Tisthati Sarvametadakhilam He Krishna Samrakshamam. Jai Sriman Narayana, with the blessings of Sri Chinna Swamiji. We are continuing Bhagavad Gita. Today is the first session in 2024. We finished chapter 6, sloka 46. There's one more sloka left in chapter 6. So, with as we were saying, right, Bhagavad Gita is total how many chapters?
18 chapters.
18 chapters. And it is divided into 3 shatkas, right? First shatka, second shatka, and third. And first shatka is primarily talking about
Atma Shatka.
Atma shatka, talking about Atma. So, when you graduate from the first shatka, okay, when you are graduating, what are you graduating with? If you are graduating, imagine, you're studying about a subject, you're learning all the aspects of that subject, and you're getting a certificate on that subject. Are you becoming perfect at that subject or master at that subject? Okay, so when you're studying, so far Lord Krishna talked about in all the 6 chapters about Atma. Did he talk about, why did he talk about Atma?
That's what it's not, I mean.
Why Lord Krishna has to talk about Atma?
Because that is the fundamental problem for most of us. Due to lack of that knowledge, we tend to suffer.
Right. Yeah. So basically, not knowing about ourselves is ignorance. Right. First and foremost is we have to know about ourselves. If we want to understand what is our duty, why we are doing this, what is our goal, how do we achieve that? I mean, in order to do anything, we have to first know about ourselves, who we are. If we have a wrong impression about ourselves, foundation itself is not there, then your solution will be totally different, right? So if you know completely who we are, then we will be able to understand the why we are here, what do we have to do, understand our experiences, understand what is our goal, what we need to do to achieve that goal, who can help us in achieving that goal, what we should not do, right? What are the obstacles for us? So all that will we'll be able to understand only when we know about ourselves. That is who truly we are, right? So Lord Krishna talked about who we are, Atma. I am Atma, not body. So he differentiated between Atma and body, and how do I realize myself, right? Self-realization. So if I'm taking a certificate, if I'm becoming a master of the first 6 chapters, okay, I am getting all the knowledge and practices necessary to achieve self-realization, right? So first 6 chapters talk about primarily self-realization. And in sloka, so in the last he's talking about yoga, yogi, right? I mean, so he is a superior yogi. There are 4 stages of yogis, right? Level 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 4th stage is the superior stage. He talked about. We can go back and listen to the previous sessions. So once you achieve that 4th stage of your yogi, superior yogi, what would happen?
You'll be more devoted to God.
It will come later. So Lord Krishna said in sloka 46, right? Tataha yati param gatim, right? So in the last line of tato yati param gatim. So once you achieve that state of, once you keep practicing this yoga, one who becomes a yogi, one who is practicing that yoga, once who become a yogi, is attaining self-realization. Okay. So attaining self-realization is the first, it's like a graduation. Okay, we are graduating with self-realization. Okay. So far good. Now, imagine we are graduating from high school. Is there nothing beyond that? There is, right?
Yeah.
You're saying, what is our goal? If you ask a student, what is your goal? They'll say, I want to graduate from high school with flying colors, right? So the first level of graduation is, for them, it is high school graduation. That is not the end goal, right? High school graduation may give us some, may be able to do some work, right? But it is not the end goal for them. High school graduation will put them in line to go to a college, higher level, right? So, but do you say to somebody who is going to high school, do you say, what is your goal? Will he say, I'm going to graduate from college? No, right? One who is at that level of going to elementary school, middle school, high school, their goal is to achieve that state of graduating from high school. That is their goal initially. But you don't say that, oh, this is the end. You will get maybe some jobs. You are educated to a certain extent, but you won't, that is not your goal. But to that person, to that student, it's, it appears that is a goal, right? Of course, they will have in their mind, okay, this is needed for me to go to a next level, right? So this first 6 chapters is telling us that, and I'm trying to compare, the Bhagavad Gita and the levels, right? To compare that to our real world experiences, so that it is clear to us. First level is self-realization. Okay, knowing about ourselves. If you don't study, all the math and sciences and English and all those subjects in our school up to 12th grade, you're not eligible to go to the next level, right? Right. Somebody may be able to directly study college. That is fine. But typically the practice is you go through these phases. First is you learn all these things, the subjects, which will put you in that on path to achieve your next level. That will be your goal, right? So then again you have to start practicing. Okay, so imagine the first 6 chapters is like our high school graduation. Okay, and next 6 chapters is going to be our college or beyond, which will put us on a path to just analogy is that we are going to graduate from, once we graduate from the college, we get a job, well-paying job. Let us say that is our goal, right? So the high school will give us the stepping stone for achieving that. Same way, this first 6 chapters are making us ready, right, to go to the next level. We will not be able to go to the next level unless we really understand the first 6 chapters. See, what is that ultimate goal for us? Now, another question for us. What is our ultimate goal?
Liberation.
Liberation, to achieve that state equivalent to Paramatma, right? Okay. Now, before we go there, so in the 6th chapter, when Lord Krishna talks about Yogi, he's talking about the one who has achieved self-realization, or who is practicing the principles of attaining self-realization, okay, and becoming perfect it. Once he becomes perfect it, he is self-realized. Okay, so that is the graduation. Okay, you got certificate. So now you are eligible to go to the next level. So this is a prerequisite to go to the next level of attaining Paramatma, that state equivalent to Paramatma. Okay. Now, then the next question comes: who is Paramatma? That is the next question. That we'll talk about in the next 6 chapters. But before that, there is one more shloka in chapter 6. So we'll look at that. I'll share my screen. This, the introduction that I just mentioned is going to help us with understanding this shloka. Okay, this is the transition. You're transitioning from, it's like to a person who is going to high school till the last, almost till the end of the high school, like 12th grade. They say, oh, this is your goal. This is your goal. You have to get good grades. You have to pass with, flying colors. You have to get a graduation. And then slowly you'll say, okay, now you are ready to go to the next level. This is what it is. Okay. Now you have to start studying for, you have to looking at college applications, and you have to go to a college, and, you're talking about the, till that time, we don't mention we don't focus on that, right? So this is the transition that we are going to see now in 6th chapter. I'm going to share the screen. Please chant. Oh.
No, next slide.
Shloka 47. Yoginamapi sarvesham
Yoginamapi sarvesham
madgatenantaratmana
madgatenantaratmana
Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam
Shraddhavan bhajate yo mam
Same yuktatamo mataha.
Same yuktatamo mataha.
Let's chant together.
Yoginamapi sarvesham madgatenantaratmana Shraddhavan भजते यो माम्
समे
युक्ततमो मतः।
So in the previous sloka, Lord explained about yogi who is a perfect or superior yogi, and yogi is superior compared to others who are only focused on doing activities for their materialistic needs, right? Even if it is good activities, not bad activities, but they're all focused towards, so yogis are better than those who are focused on materialistic activities only. So yogi is so when a yogi or when we are practicing that yoga, then that one attains self-realization. He said. So what is that yoga practice? Is all the practices that are taking us towards self-realization. That person we are calling it as calling that person as yogi. Okay. So in this sloka, Lord Krishna is saying, Yaha Sraddhavan Madgatenantaratmana Mam Bhajate. Yaha Sraddhavan. Whoever has Sraddha, whoever has conviction, whoever is absorbed in, so Sraddhavan Madgatenantaratmana. So whoever is absorbed in me with manas, madgatena antaratmana. So whoever is absorbed in me with conviction, mam bhajate, worships me. Okay. Saha. So Lord Krishna said mam bhajate, right? So who worships me. Saha means the one. Saha is that one. Who is that one? That one is the one who is worshipping Paramatma with conviction. We are calling that person as bhakta, right? The one who is doing the bhajan, bhajati, is one who is worshipping. We are calling that person as bhakta, one who is loving with devotion. Okay. Saha me yuktatamaha mataha. That bhakta is considered by me as most superior. Mataha is considered, yuktatamaha is most superior. So whoever is absorbed in me with manas worships worships me with conviction, that bhakta is considered by me as superior. So in the previous, up to now, he talked about yoga or yogi, one who practices those principles that are mentioned so far is the one who is attaining self-realization, right? Now he's saying that whoever is worshipping me with conviction is considered superior. Now, between this bhakta and that yogi that Lord Krishna mentioned earlier, who is superior? Sarvesham api yoginam. So this Lord Krishna is saying, Yuktatamaha Sarvesham api yoginam. Sarvesham, all others. Api and yoginam, all the yogis. So beyond all the yogis and all others, the one who is worshipping me with devotion, with conviction, that person, that bhakta, is superior. Got it?
A quick question on that though. So when others are also categorized as yogis, then what are they sort of involved in?
Uh,
I
a
understand this
yogi, I mean,
point that
just for, sorry to interrupt. So for the purpose of understanding, right? Yogi is the one who is seeking self-realization. Okay. I mean, we have to understand with the context, right? You call one who is God realize also, you may call that person as yogi. We will come to that, right? So far Lord Krishna talked about the focus is on self-realization. He taught us about self. He didn't talk primarily about himself. He devoted next 6 chapters for himself, right? Okay, so yes, he talked about his avatar Rahasya Jnanam in chapter 4. He talked about, okay, I'm the one who is going to give you everything. He talked about, okay, you have to do your duties as service to me. To that extent, he talked about himself. He started with differentiating himself with us and Prakriti. So he primarily explained there are 3 realities. There is Prakriti, there is Jivatmas and Paramatma, one Paramatma. And he started talking about all these Jivatmas and what are their qualities, and so what is the end goal of a Jivatma and how to achieve it, and what are the means to achieve it, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga. Didn't talk about Bhakti Yoga yet. Now Lord Krishna is going to talk about Bhakti Yoga. His focus is to teach us how to achieve that self-realization, how to recognize ourselves, realize ourselves. One who is self-realized, he called them as yogis, right? So beyond all the yogis, of all the yogis, bhakta, or one who is worshipping Paramatma with devotion, with conviction. Okay, one who is devoted to Paramatma with entire self, right? That is superior compared to one who is seeking self-realization. So now then you may ask a question, oh, why did he even explain all 6 chapters about self? And if you consider this person as a superior compared to self-realized person, right? He's saying, oh, bhakta is superior compared to a karma yogi or a jnana yogi. Then why did you even talk about it? Right? You get the question? Those are prerequisites.
understood, and I think that fits well with the analogy that what you've reached a level. What is the next level? You've graduated high school. You have knowledge to a certain extent. You don't have the college education knowledge, but you have the high school knowledge. So he's taking us to the next level. So okay, he said we are all yogis, but now there is another level that we need to attain, I guess. So yeah,
Yes.
total sense. Fits well.
Right. Perfect. So it is like you have to graduate from this to be in the state of a bhakta, a devotee, right? It is, I mean, you may ask, a question, oh, is it really necessary? Is it really necessary? Can't I be devoted to Paramatma to achieve that state of equivalent to Paramatma? Why? Okay, let's hypothetically we can ask this question. Okay, we want to be, we want to worship Paramatma. We don't have any knowledge about ourselves. What are we going to ask Paramatma?
Yeah, materialistic things.
Exactly. You're going to ask the wrong thing. You will not achieve the state that you want, right? So it is like if you don't know why you're going to college, you instead of getting the college education, you'll probably go and become a sweeper in the college, or something, do something else, or or go to a canteen and enjoy. Maybe I'm just saying, right? So yes, he's going to give you whatever we ask for, right? So, but that bhakti with conviction that I am devoted to you and I'm practicing that bhakti yoga. My goal is not to get the materialistic benefits and my bodily things. My focus is on myself. That is the reason why Lord Krishna talked about self first. If you don't know about self, if you don't know that self is different from the body, you directly jump to bhakti yoga. Bhakti. Then you will think, oh, God is there to give me whatever I want. And I want money, I want car, I want long life, I want this and that. But I don't know that there is, I am not body. And whatever I get is all I'm getting karmic bondage. So, yeah, Paramatma will, is the one who is who's making everything happen in this world. So we ask or don't ask, he's going to give something. And we take that thinking that, oh, I did it, and this result is because of me. This result is, Paramatma gave me this result because I prayed to Paramatma. It's not like Paramatma's greatness. It is my greatness that I prayed to Paramatma and then he gave me. So if I have not prayed like that, probably he wouldn't have given. That's why I'm so great compared to everybody. So Paramatma is in the background. Now the foreground is the myself, right? The person who is doing the puja. So it's all wrong reasons will happen. Okay, so um, that's why Lord Krishna is saying. Going back to this sloka, right? So of among all these yogis and all other people, okay, bhakta, a devotee, is superior, right? Bhakti yoga is the only means of achieving Paramatma. Okay. Now, again, this is a question that we get. Then why do you talk about karma yoga and jnana yoga and all that? Those are prerequisites. If we don't perform karma yoga, we will not be able to realize ourselves. Even when we try to worship, our worship will be focused on materialistic things. If we don't have the knowledge supporting karma yoga cannot be done properly. You may think that, oh, I'm performing karma yoga, but you're not. If your focus is on jnana yoga, but it will be that practice will be perfect only if it is supported by karma yoga, right? So all this karma yoga, jnana yoga is kind of a prerequisite to the state of bhakti yoga. Okay, those who have gone through the karma yoga and jnana yoga in their previous lives, okay, they will quickly jump to the bhakti yoga with the support of karma yoga and jnana. They won't. It's not like I can simply go directly to college. Enjoy in a forest for till I'm 18 years old, and then just go to college and then start studying. It's impossible, right? But if I had the education already with me, then maybe I don't have a degree. I don't have a high school diploma on paper, but I'm eligible to do it. Then I can do it, right? So, but does it mean that anyone who doesn't have a high school diploma can go to college and succeed? They will fail, isn't it? So among all the people, everyone else, the ones who are performing this bhakti yoga are superior, most superior. Now, so he's not suggesting that don't be a yogi. He's saying become a yogi. He told in 6th chapter, be a perfect yogi. And then among even beyond your that state of self-realization, there is something called God realization. You have to achieve that state. One who is focused on God realization is superior compared to those who are um, focused on self-realization, or those everybody else who are simply performing their activities for the sake of materialistic needs, for the sake of their bodies. Okay, either austerities or rituals or anything that they are doing. So those people are those who are simply focused on self-realization, and beyond these sets of people, the bhaktas are the most superior. Okay. Now, one more example is, everyone who is, let us say, graduating, let us say, in US, let us say 100 people graduate, there is a percentage of people who drop out. Who don't go to the next level, pursuing college, right? Now, one who is considering that, okay, getting college education, college degree is the most superior. So how do you say that? Those who are pursuing the college education are superior compared to all those who finished high school, isn't it? So among all the people who are in high school, now let us take this. Among all the people who are in high school, those who drop out before they get the graduation, or those who get the graduation but don't go to the next level, those who are trying to pursuing the college degree are superior. Same way, those who are simply performing their activities for mundane activities without without focusing on self, Atma, or those who realize that, oh, I am Atma, not a body, and know about, okay, I want to achieve the state of self-realization. Okay, so that is graduation of self-realization. Even among those who are graduated from self-realization, those who are pursuing the higher level of God realization are more superior. Right? So there is another state beyond self-realization, or goal of self-realization. With that, 6th chapter completes. Now it is like as I was saying, that interval, right? Between in the movie, first part is over. We thought, oh, okay, almost, it looks like the movie is over, but a twist comes just before the interval, and then they'll put the interval card, and then okay, now then the next journey starts, right? So okay, so we'll start chapter 7. Any questions so far up to chapter 6? All right, it's clear. Okay, that's good. So we'll go to chapter 7. We'll start sharing chapter 7. So this next 6 chapters are called, anyone knows?
Jnana Shakti.
Hmm?
Jnana Shakti.
Bhakti.
Bhakti.
Bhakti Shakti.
Bhakti Shatka. Yes. So talks about bhakti. And so far we learned about who are we, okay, and what is our goal, okay, what is our goal, okay, to get to a state where we do not have to come back and take births again and again. That is a state equivalent to Paramatma. That is what we are calling as liberation or moksha, okay. Now, in order to do that, we have to achieve a state of self-realization. But that is the minimum, right? Now, the goal, there is a something beyond the self-realization, that is God realization. Now, in order to achieve God realization, we need to have that knowledge of bhakti, or the practices of bhakti, okay, or bhakti yoga. So first Lord Krishna talks about, okay, this is our goal is to achieve a state equivalent to Paramatma. Then who is Paramatma? What is his nature? We talked about the nature of ourselves so far. What is the nature of Paramatma? Then how do I worship him? What are the practices? What does he like? What does he not like? What does he do? All this about himself, about Paramatma. And how do I continue continue my worship with conviction, right? Okay. So what is even bhakti? So again, all that is explained in the next 7 chapters. Okay. So sorry, 6 chapters. Next 6 chapters. Okay, let's chant. अथ सप्तमोऽध्यायः
अथ
सप्तमोऽध्यायः
सप्तमोऽध्यायः
ज्ञानविज्ञानयोगः
ज्ञानविज्ञानयोगः
श्रीभगवानुवाच
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 मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ
मय्यासक्तमनः
मय्यासक्तमनः
पार्थ
पार्थ
योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः
योगं
योगं
युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः
असंशयं समग्रं माम्
असंशयं
असंशयं समग्रं माम्
यथा ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
यथा
यज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
Let's chant together.
भगवानुवाच
श्रीभगवानुवाच
मय्यासक्तमनः पार्थ योगं युञ्जन्मदाश्रयः
असंशयं
असंशयं समग्रं
समग्रं
माम्
यथा
यथा
ज्ञास्यसि
ज्ञास्यसि तच्छृणु
Okay. So Lord Krishna started speaking again in this chapter. So there is no question from Arjuna at the beginning of the chapter. So that's why I said the last sloka of 6th chapter is like a prelude. It's taking us into the next chapter, 7th chapter. So Lord Krishna is saying, "Hey Partha, O Arjuna, Mayi asakta manaha." Having your mind firmly established in me. Yogam yunjan madasrayaha. Yogam yunjan, practice yoga, taking refuge in me. Matasrayaha, taking refuge in me, taking my support, considering me as support. Tatsruno, listen to that. What? Listen to that teaching. Mam samagram yatha asamsayam nyasyasi. By which you will completely know me without any doubt. So, Lord Krishna is saying, having your mind firmly established in me. Practice the yoga, the spiritual practices, considering me as your support, taking refuge in me, surrendering to me. Listen to that teaching, which I'm going to tell you now, okay? By which you will know me completely without any doubt. You will not have any doubts, okay? Any questions about who I am, right? Now you know what is the 7th chapter, right? You got it? So if I'm saying that those who worship me are considered superior. So obviously we get a question, who are you? Right? What is your nature? Okay. And what are the practices to achieve you? What are the practices that you're talking about of worshipping you? How can I worship you? I'm going to tell you everything, and you will not have any doubts left after this. Okay, it's not like I'll tell you 10% and then you have to do homework 90%. Okay, so listen to that teaching. I'm going to teach you now. Okay, pay focus. Okay, now when we are learning about Paramatma, right? We should surrender to him. If we don't surrender, then whatever teaching that we get will not be able to understand, will not be able to practice. Like you go to a teacher and then you have you don't respect the teacher, you don't consider the teacher has knowledge, and then you just go to a class. Will you get anything out of it? All right. So first is having that conviction, surrendering to Paramatma. Okay, I am getting this teaching, I am surrendering to you. Okay, with that we need to approach, right? We need to listen, right? Then I'm going to teach you everything. Don't worry, you will not have any doubts. Okay, it's not like don't ask questions. It's not like that. I'm going to teach you everything. And at the end of it, you will not have any doubts. Okay. So what are the qualities that are really required to understand Paramatma? What should be our, how do we approach? Okay. Is completely engrossed in Paramatma, engrossed in God. Be attached to him. Always think of him. Always be eager to achieve him, reach him. Okay. Perform our duties. Serve all beings as service to God. Surrender to God with complete faith. acknowledge that we are dependent on him. We have to always think we are dependent on Paramatma. We are not independent. Okay. So it's like when we are able to do simple tasks, we think, oh, I can do it by myself. I don't need God's help. It's not like that. A lot of times we get that like only when it is tough, we go to Paramatma and then say, oh God, I cannot do without your help. Please help me. But when it is simple task, daily task, we think, oh, I can do by myself. Why do I need God? Or some people, I can do everything by myself. I don't have to even think about Paramatma. I don't have to depend on God at all. But then why are you asking me to pray to God? They think that praying to God is actually thinking that then only God will give me something. If I don't pray, then God will not give me. Right? That is a kind of just slight digression here because the topic came. So if we pray to God, then things will work. Let us say, if that is the logic, Paramatma will give me. Then these people will say, oh, I did not pray to God today and still it worked for me. I did it by myself. So the conclusion for them is, I don't have to depend on God. I don't have to believe in God. I don't have to depend on God. Right? So, and actually having dependence on God is like you are losing your own faith in yourself. Like if I'm saying that, oh God, I'm dependent on you, then I don't have faith in myself. No surety if I work, right? It's like if I say I'm completely dependent on you, then what am I going to do any effort by myself? Typically no, right? That is the kind of wrong impression people have about God. So we'll know everything in the same. I mean, that's why first 6 chapters, even though it touches on Paramatma a little bit here and there, he didn't really explain about himself in detail. Now it's going to be like crystal clear. That's why Lord Krishna is saying, you will know about me completely. You will, actually, one more thing is that you have the 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. The middle 6 chapters, he explained about the real crux of the matter. First 6 chapters is like a introduction, making you eligible. Okay, just giving some basics. But to get a job, just like to get a job, the 4 years of college education is most important, right? So that is the middle part, the crux of the entire Bhagavad Gita is actually in this. So if somebody asks you what was the purpose of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavad Gita is to know about Paramatma. It's not about knowing about ourselves, our duties, karma yoga, jnana yoga, no, not all that. But those are prerequisites. If you just focus on prerequisites and not on Paramatma, then we didn't get Bhagavad Gita. Now, does it mean that by getting the knowledge of Paramatma, we can forget about our duties? No. Right? So we are still pursuing whatever the first 6 chapters tell us. We are still practicing those. But we are at the next level of the real goal for us and how to achieve that goal. Okay. If we don't know about Paramatma, if we don't know how to worship Paramatma, we can't even be successful in practicing the first 6 chapters. Now, again, analogy, right? So let us say we are in high school. Okay. We consider, oh, this calculus is so hard. Okay. Isn't it? It appears so hard. Now you go to college and you study even beyond, okay, maybe higher level of calculus. or other mathematics concepts. Then you go back and then try to do the problems in high school. You'll say, oh my God, it's so simple. Why was I thinking that they're very hard for me? So unless we have this knowledge of Paramatma, I'm trying to correlate, so that we can understand it clearly. What's the connection between these? Knowing about Paramatma, practicing the bhakti will actually make us practice whatever we learned in Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga as well. Okay, so it's not like you're totally discarding everything and then just sitting somewhere and praying to them. They may appear it that way. It may appear it that way. But in fact, they're practicing whatever needs to be practiced. It's not like, let's say one who is the highest level is only focused on Paramatma. Is he not thinking about all the people, all the beings, welfare of all the beings? They are. They're making, so their duties are different compared to maybe a politician or a cop or somebody who is actually, doing the work of going and, doing in the society. But one who is at the highest level is also thinking of the enlightening people, putting them in the right direction. So their duties are different. So they're also practicing whatever their duties are, right? They're also not forgetting who they are. They are the Atma, separate from Paramatma. Their goal is to reach the state of Paramatma, equivalent of Paramatma, so that they don't have to come back, right? So they have never, discarded the principles that they learned or practices that they have to, and focus only on that. But it appears to other people that their only primary focus is Jnana. So we have to acknowledge that we are dependent on Paramatma. In the previous example, those who are thinking that when I pray to Paramatma, then only things will happen. And when things happen without praying to Paramatma, I don't, then I can conclude that Paramatma is a myth. It's not needed. For them, they have the wrong concept of Paramatma, right? And also expressing our dependence does not mean that we have to stop putting effort. Okay. So we'll learn all that. We have to put our effort, but we are still dependent on him, right? How and why and all that will continue. So these are the qualities that are essential for us to truly understand Paramatma. Okay. And
a lot of times we also see people thinking it is a sign of weakness, actually, surrendering to Paramatma. That is a big problem I see. Because they say, okay, if you believe in yourself, if you know what you are doing, then why do you have to really depend on Paramatma or surrender to Paramatma?
Yeah. Yeah. So in order to live our life in this world, okay, with whatever, resources that we have, whatever are the capabilities that we are born with, in order to just live this life, we don't have to even need to recognize Paramatma, right? We don't even have to know about him, all that, right? In order to live a life like a normal person, going through ups and downs and all that with no peace in between, and whenever things go wrong, we're so depressed, or whenever things go appear, then we enjoy and try to acquire as much as possible without knowing what is tomorrow. It is like somebody who wakes up in the morning, enjoys the whole day with whatever they have. Maybe they have $1,000 in the bank, and then They have some food on the table. They have two hands and legs, and then now they can talk and they can enjoy. So the entire day they, spend whatever they want, right? Maybe in the worst case scenario, I'm just saying like drink and do whatever they want, then sleep. Next day morning, how it would be, right? Miserable. Money is gone. Maybe they did something yesterday that puts them in trouble with cops or whatever. So if you don't have to think about tomorrow, then you enjoy whatever you have, do whatever you want. You don't have to care about Paramatma at all. But you know that for me there is tomorrow. Then what do? We study, we save something for tomorrow, so that our life will be better for tomorrow. So in order to wake up tomorrow in a better state, we have to do certain activities. For that, we need to recognize somebody. Okay, so all those things we think about. That's when we start thinking about Paramatma and all these practices. If I just have to enjoy this life, mundane life, no problem. It's not that Paramatma doesn't give them the results. If somebody studies for a test and takes a test with the God's grace, again, even though they don't recognize it, it's still they will be able to get something. They'll get a job. They'll get some, But whenever they face a problem, they don't understand why they faced a problem. Whenever they see other people facing problem, they don't understand why. For no reason, one will be successful, other person will be not. So they don't understand why. They'll start creating all kinds of disturbances in the society without understanding that how it is going to impact them tomorrow for their next life, right? Troubling so many people, so many other animals and environment and all that. So with thinking that, okay, human race is so superior compared to all the animals and environment, I can do whatever I want for my own happiness. Yes, you may be able to do that, but that person will be facing music in the next life. So now we express our dependence on Paramatma, knowing that every result is happening only because of Paramatma, right? Whatever we are able to do are the abilities that are given to us by Paramatma. Simple thing, I teach Bhagavad Gita to kids. So none of us are born with a degree to make our heart beat, to know how to breathe. Simple thing. If our heart stops for a minute, or we don't breathe for a minute, will we live? Does anyone know how to make our heart stop or beat? None of us know, right? We may be able to understand, oh, this is why heart is beating and it's important for us, but we can't. Even with the latest technologies, also it's not possible. So it is, and a baby who is born, for that baby also it functions. It's not like somebody has to do a medicine degree and then go to ICU and then only it starts beating. No. So we are able to live because of Paramatma. Some other one who is supporting us. So we express our dependence on him. Starting from there, every second of our life, we are living because of the support that Paramatma is giving us, making our body function. Because as Atma does not have can do any of these body functions. Only because of Paramatma it is functioning. Atma is staying in the body also because of Paramatma. So that is another dependence. I'm able to live today because of Paramatma's blessings. Living today in this body, right? So all that is dependence. And so that is what we say, I'm dependent. It's not like, okay, I don't want to study, I don't want to do my job, but I want salary, I want because I'm dependent on you, you should give me. No, it doesn't work that way. So Lord Krishna told Arjuna to listen, carefully. I'm going to teach you everything. Okay, I'll go to the next sloka. Can you see the next sloka? Okay. Please chant. Jnanam teham savijnanam
Jnanam teham savijnanam
Vijnanam
idam vakshamyase shatah
idam bhakshyamyashetataha
yajnatva neha bhuyonyat
vajnabhuyat
ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते
Let's chant together.
ज्ञानं तेऽहं सविज्ञानम् इदं वक्ष्याम्यशेषतः यज्ञात्वा नेह भूयोऽन्यत्
ज्ञातव्यमवशिष्यते.
So Lord Krishna is saying, Aham te vakshami aseshataha. Aham is I. Te vakshami will tell you. Aseshataha completely. I will disclose to you completely. Idam jnanam savijnanam. Now, the chapter's name is Jnana Vijnana Yoga, right? So what's the difference between Jnana and Vijnana? Right? It looks similar, right?
In Hindi, Vijnana is science.
Yes, Vijnana Shastra is science. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, so Jnana, sorry.
I think
Okay.
Jnana is like a practical, like a theoretical knowledge. Like maybe I think Vijnanam is actually living in that, like understanding and actually living through that is what I understand actually.
Okay. So this basically this Jnana and Vijnana in the context of Paramatma. Right? I'm going to tell about you, right? About myself completely. That knowledge, that Jnanam and Vijnanam is said. Okay. So it is not a generic terms like science or something that is practical, not like that. Right? We are talking Paramatma here. Okay. Knowledge is that, that Jnanam is that God exists. Okay. So God exists, and who is God? I'm telling you that there is God existing. Now, God is existing along with the nature and Jivatmas, right? So that is the knowledge I have. Okay, just the fact that God exists. Then Vijnana is the knowledge that God is distinguished from the Jivatmas and Prakriti and superior compared to all. So you're giving the distinctive supreme knowledge. So Jnana is just knowledge. Knowledge, when he is referring to, I'm going to talk about, tell about myself. So that knowledge is about himself, that is Paramatma and his nature, right? So I am God, this is my nature. Okay. Now, the Vijnanam is that distinctive knowledge. Vijnanam, that distinctive knowledge. So you're going to say, oh, something is distinctive about it, right? Something is supreme, separate, distinctive. So what is that is this knowledge which is telling us that Paramatma is distinctive, supreme compared to all other beings. And all other beings, which beings are a combination of Jivatma and Prakriti. So Paramatma is supreme compared to them. And how do you say supreme? Has infinite auspicious qualities, attributes, has no evil or negative attributes. That is the distinctive supreme knowledge, the Vijnanam. So Jnanam is knowledge that God exists. Vijnanam is that knowledge that tells us that God is supreme, distinctive compared to other entities. Okay, so clear, right? I mean,
Yes.
we will know. I mean, it's not like this is out of context, right? Like God is going to explain about himself and how he is supreme compared to others, right? Some compared to the Jivatmas and Prakriti in the same chapter, and and more elaborated subsequent chapters. So Jnanam, I'm going to talk about the Jnanam and Vijnanam. Yat Jnatva, after knowing which, Iha Bhuyaha Anyat Jnatavyam na avasishyate. Yatavyam avasishyate. All right. So what he's saying is, there remains no other knowledge. Anyat Jnatavyam na avasishyate. There remains no other knowledge to be known. Iha Bhuyaha. Bhuyaha again. Iha in this matter. So there is, I'm going to teach you everything completely about the knowledge that who am I, what is my nature, that means I'm existing, and who am I and what is my nature, and Vijnanam, that how I'm supreme. Okay, and after knowing that knowledge, there is nothing else you need to know in this matter. There's no other knowledge that you need to gain in this matter. That means, I mean, there is no other knowledge that you need to gain in this matter. Is a little bit, we need to understand that, right? So in order to do something, in order to, let us say, do a project. Now the project is in Java. To be successful in that, I need to learn Java, right? If I have to do a project in a Python, I only know Java. Then what do I have to do? I need to learn Python. So in order to become successful in each of the projects, I need to know whatever is technology is needed, right? To be successful, I need to keep knowing more and more and more, right? But for my self to be successful, what is the success? The success is to reach a state of the liberation, right? To reach a state equivalent to Paramatma. In order to be successful in it, I don't have to know anything else. This is the ultimate. It's not like, oh, you after knowing this, you again have to graduate. we talked about graduation, right? I mean, you graduated from high school, and then you have to know this one. But this, like, imagine this college will give you the degree that you will, knowledge and practices beyond which there is nothing else you need to know to do anything in your life. Imagine that kind of a college. So these 6 chapters will give us that knowledge. After knowing that, we don't have to know anything else to be successful in our life. In our life, in the sense, not one life like this. In the for the Atma to be successful. To success, when we call it success, is we achieve our goal, right? We reach a final state, final state. That is our success, right? So that is liberation. So this knowledge of Paramatma and knowing that Paramatma is supreme is essential for us to be successful. So far, whatever we learned, Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, is prerequisite to achieve, to come to this level. Now, at this level, this is the knowledge that is essential for us to be successful. Without this knowledge, we will not be successful.
There is a question that has been bothering me, and in this context, for an example, if I were a farmer, I woke up each morning and went to my farm, tilled my farm, I grew my crops, I earned some money, I got my food for the day. Next morning, I wake up again, I repeat that cycle, right?
Yes.
And so, am I not sort of, happy in life, or, do I have to go ahead and reach? Would he have to go and read Bhagavad Gita in order to be sort of successful in his life? And the same thing, like, that example could also
Sir, I'm sorry. Successful in life. What do you mean by successful in life?
means the higher achievement, all what we are talking about, like,
If
one with God, is he doing anything wrong? Is he not, at a level that God wants that you do the right things and you keep doing it, And yeah, during Dashara Diwali, he goes to the temple, he prays, and he's a God-fearing person, a farmer. So I don't know. And this is just a hypothetical question, and this is bothering
no,
me.
it's a very good question. Very good question.
Yeah.
As I was saying, right? One who does not, first and foremost, is not knowing that who they are, right? That self, not body. One who does not know that, that's the first problem. Second is, what is our goal? If you don't know, second problem. The goal is to, clean our karmic bondage, not acquire any more karmic bondage. Okay. So that is the second goal. Final goal is to clear our karmic bondage so that we get liberated. So that is the ultimate goal. So in order to reach that goal, ultimate goal, we need to know who is going to help me, who is the one who is supporting me. I'm not supporting that. So I'm able to just go and do the farming, but the one who will give me the ultimate goal is Paramatma. Let us say they don't know any of this, right? If they're just going and doing the job and coming back, doing good activities, right? They're not doing any bad activities like robbing, hurting, doing all that. No, they're doing proper and they care about society and all that. But the goal there is to feed themselves as a body, right? I am doing this work. I am getting the result because of my work. This is my work. Results are for me to enjoy, for me or my family, my society, all that. This kind of thinking adds more karmic bondage to us. It does not clear the existing karmic bondage. So that person may be successful in terms of they will be able to live live a normal life, every day having food on their table and then live in a good house, be with family and friends. After that life is over, their karmic bondage would have increased. They have to take birth again. There is no guarantee they will take birth as a human being. That's the most important
Person
thing.
did not do anything wrong, right? He didn't do
It doesn't
anything.
have to be. It doesn't have to be. Nothing wrong. They didn't do anything wrong, but they acquired more karmic bondage. They did not clear the correction. Even if let's say they did not acquire more karmic bondage, there is a lot more karmic bondage that we're all carrying, because millions and millions of years we have been taking births in different bodies. Fortunately, we got this body. We are able to. We have the capability to know this knowledge, get this knowledge. But if we don't do that, we live a life without knowing that. We acquire more karmic bondage and take another birth, which may be worse than this. There's 65 million species or whatever, like unlimited number of species. Now, uh, to one who is saying that, okay, I'm living a normal life, I'm enjoying my life, just go to YouTube and watch how animals, let us say somebody, I was taking the example of a snake. A lot of people are afraid of snakes. Imagine ourselves being a snake or living in that forest which has to defend itself from the snake or some lion or a deer. We take birth as a deer and they're suffering. Do we want to live that life? Nobody wants. These people who get gun licenses and use go hunting for fun. Okay, our scriptures say that if we are doing it for fun, we are bound to get the same birth. Okay, whatever. Those animals are supposed to live a particular life, and taking that life away is acquiring whatever the remaining life that particular animal has onto us. So at some point of time, the person who hunted that animal is going to take birth as that animal being hunted by somebody else or running away from somebody else. So anyway, so it is, if we know that this is going to be our life, then that person will not think I'm successful in life. We are miserable. We are ending up so much in a bad state compared to what we are born with. Because every moment that we are thinking that I am body, this is my work, I am doing it, I am getting the result, I am enjoying, another 10 lives are added, another 20 lives are added. Okay, so which could be so bad, so worse, that we could be in deep trouble. We don't want to get into that, right?
Yeah, I
So
actually, yeah, but Prasad, just a point like to add here is like there has to be first of all like conviction of rebirth. I guess like one having an understanding or firm conviction or faith in the like this life, if we do just live like that farmer, like not doing anything, like not understanding even like what the ultimate goal of a human life is, all those things, right? Like there has, if those persons are not even aware that like there will be a new birth and I might have suffered. Like many people, like I think in that situation may not think like, okay, I'm living happily, that's all matters for this life, right? Like they end they right. So I think having that firm conviction or faith in rebirth, and why should we even investigate ourselves and understand the goal, is also primarily first important, right? I think just like for anybody else, like I read like one book which is really really good, is called Many Lives Many Masters. It's about a doctor, I think from US, like who has been, he's a psychologist, like he basically like he doesn't know anything, of course, he never read about Gita or anything, but it is very amazing that during his psycho, like all the sessions and everything, he was dealing with a woman, like treating her, and where she was actually during the sessions was reciting various lives of her in the past to the doctor, which kind of made him do a research, like really there are their lives before like this life and all that. And eventually when he did ended up his research,
Mhm.
then he happened to bump into Gita, and he read Gita and he said that I wish I would have read this earlier to even know that, because Krishna clearly tells about, this is not the first time that you and me are here, right? So I think just to give that example, like I think practically, if you want to understand, like maybe just to like why it is important to understand that there is something like a rebirth. Like why do we first place even
Right.
worry about having the next life? That book really helps a lot. Actually, Many Lives, Many Masters.
Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. There are studies which prove that there is rebirth, and some people are able to recollect. And there is, okay, beyond rebirth concept, right? I think we are over time, but just a 1 minute is that these concepts are going to help us even in living this life as well.
Oh.
Okay, so the entire there's life management in Bhagavad Gita, or life management lessons from Bhagavad Gita focuses mainly on the all these practices, how we can live a better life. Suddenly, I mean, this farmer, let us say, is farming, and suddenly, the crop, suddenly some flood happens and entire crop is gone. How he is going to handle that situation? Or somebody's criticizing that farmer, some bad event occurs, how he's, or some, you know, whatever situation happens in their life, how they're able to handle it. If you don't handle it properly, that the person goes through some miserable days and nights, right? Sometimes even longer. So they will not be peaceful unless we understand these concepts. They may live life, while they're able to enjoy, it looks good. But as soon as some bad thing happens, then they will not be able to understand why it has occurred. Well, I did everything I can, but why I'm suffering, right? So that is the kind of questions people get. All that is also explained in Bhagavad Gita.
But
So success from one life to another life and achieving the final goal, if that is treated as success, we need to have the knowledge of Paramatma and the Bhakti practice supported by Karma Yoga and Jnana Yoga should be there. So if for those who believe in this rebirth, and the final goal for a self or Atma is to reach that state of not taking births again. Those
yeah,
who don't believe in it also, the concepts that are given here will help them live a peaceful life.
Got it.
yeah, I
Thanks.
was going to say one more thing, right? Basically, the sooner we establish faith in scriptures, which has been proved for thousands and thousands of years, the more benefit we get. See, this whole analysis and paralysis, our intellect is a nuisance a lot of times. It is important. So think about it. We have probably 5% of our life to study the scriptures and practice. Within that 5%, if we are dwelling between doubt, etc., which has been, See, we are readily believing, we are willing to believe something that has been proved 10 years ago or 15 years ago, or let us say 100 years ago, E is equal to mc square. No questions asked. Somebody said, this is the root. Whereas we are not, unfortunately, we are not ready to believe, which has been proved for, forget about millions of years, thousands of years at least. And this concept of rebirth, in my opinion, is common sense. It's not even a question to be believed or asked or analyzed. You as an awareness, you never perish. Think about it. Has
Yes.
ever your awareness stopped for a millisecond in your entire life, starting as an infant, child, etc.? So
No.
that is what we should do. The sooner we get to that point, the better we can take benefit of this.
Yes. Some of the concepts, very well said, Balaji. Like some of the concepts that while we are learning these chapters, I mean, it looks like not science on if you just look at it outside, but the same concept now we can attribute to whatever science was able to prove today, and say, oh, this is what it is telling. We'll come to those things. I mean, the entire energy cycle is explained in Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
Entire. So we'll come to those that knowledge, and so it is proven, right? I mean, now we understand the energy cycle. Now we understand atom bomb. Now we understand these things. Yeah. So now when those are given in Bhagavad Gita and which are proven today, which could not be proved 100 years ago, right? So the other concepts we probably are not able to prove today with whatever we know, but maybe we will be able to prove as time progresses. But nobody is going to live for those many thousands of years. So once we know that it is proven by learned people, then following that is much more suitable or much more useful for us than to question it, as you rightly said.
No, this is not to discourage anybody to apply your judgment and all that, but of course we should do that. Our scriptures allow that. Nobody is forced to believe anything, but
Exactly.
and you hear things like we will study in 7th chapter, Anoraniya. So the atoms and molecules, these are pronounced in Gita. Anu means molecule. So it's a deep thing, and but of course, it's with all respect, it's fully understandable. It takes some time to grasp, but that's one way for us to settle down our mind. That why I have to trust the scriptures, because these have been proven again and again and again for thousands of years.
Yes.
Remember, whatever Bhagavan said 5,000 years ago is still true. The cause of suffering, if you see the 2nd chapter, the process that is explained, right? Dhyayato Vishyan Pumsa Sangasteshu Pujayat. There is no change in that.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
things are, yes. Sorry.
No problem. Very good. Very well said. Very good discussion. Thank you so much. We did 2 slokas from chapter 7. We learned about the name Jnana Vijnana, and now we'll go into the learning about Paramatma and how he is supreme. Supreme. Okay. We'll conclude with the concluding prayer. Kayena vacha mansendriyarva buddhyatmana va prakrute swabhavat karomi yajjat sakalam parasmai narayanaayeti samarpayami
Srimanarayanaayeti samarpayami sarvam Krishnarpanastu.
Om Asmadgurubhyo namaha. Jai Srimanarayana.
Yes.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Jai Srimanarayana.
Jai Srimanarayana. Jai Sri-